Welcome to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and we have a special treat today because joining us, filling in for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, is Zen Master General Manager Angry Matt Smith. How are we doing?
I'm back, doing great. Not so much for KDFL, but and the Raiders. I'm supporting Derek Carr just for all you guys this week. Anybody questioning my faith for him?
Also, joining us, the captain is here. Captain Phil Rexy, how are you doing?
About the same. I mean, kind of in the same boat as Matt in the league. So, it's whatever. Who cares?
All right. So we have a great episode today. Of course, we have last week in the KDFL. We have a pretty fun segment this week that we'll get to, featuring the fan bases of the KDFL. But first, there's some results to go through. So let's go ahead and wind down the week that was KDFL Week 8. Take it away, Matt.
All right. We start off the Week 8 results with the red-hot Kanawha County Kings, fresh off their first victory of the season, taking a short trip under the I-64 Interstate Bridge up to Roxalana to battle the struggling Renegades, 1-3 in their last 4 matchups. The Kings' impressive QB duo of Geno Smith and Taylor Heineke put up 43 points together, along with 22 from Jacoby Mowers. While the Renegades are finally healthy and able to start Taylor Swift again, but sadly the famous duo ends up with 20 combined points. However, Renegades are able to shake it off with monster performances by Tuanon Nation, with Tua and Waddle combining for over 60 points. Renegades easily take down the Kings 269 to 195.
All right, and next we had to Wake Forest, where my Lumberjacks welcomed in the Hurricane Wampus Cats. It was looking pretty ugly early, and didn't get much better towards the end, although both teams scored a little more than they were expected, I think. The Wampus Cats poured in 261 with A.J. Brown scoring 40, Tony Pollard with 34, and Kyler Murray with 26. Meanwhile, for my Lumberjacks, Nick Chubb led the way with 25, Duvernay with 22, and Aaron Jones with 20. But it was not even close to enough as the Wampus Cats get the win 261 to 219.
All right, we head to Melbourne next, where the Melbourne Mega Powers host the 7-0 Dogtown Dobermans. Dak Prescott, looking like his old self, scores 26 for the Mega Powers. Antonio Gibson scores 22 as well. But the newly acquired pieces for the Dobermans debut in extremely strong fashion, scoring 83. Kamara goes for 43. McCaffrey goes for 40. It is an absolute rout. Not even Andy Dalton and his miraculous 20 points can help out the Mega Powers as the Dobermans keep on rolling, improving to 8-0 as they win 290 to 217.
Next up, the Nocatee Zen Masters, best team in the league, travel to their old city to take on the evil empire of South Hills. Major boos coming from the crowd, knowing the Methadone's old owner abandoned their team for the Zen lifestyle in Florida. At the beginning on Sunday, it looked like the Zen Masters might continue their 4-game winning streak with huge performances from ETN's season and the legend known as Dante Foreman. Some would say CMC who. But that quickly faded with Derek Carr, Wan'Dale Robinson, George Pickens, and Hunter Renfrow all combining for 6 points total. South Hills, as usual, too strong, along with big games from Jalen Hurts, Derek, James Robinson, Henry, Phil, Kupp, and Cooper, along with a strong 28 from Justin Fields. Evil Empire easily ends the Zen Masters 4-game winning streak, defeating them 256 to 188.
And next we head to Elkview, where our fellow co-host who isn't here today welcomes in Brett's favorite owner and team, the Poker Pharmacist, and LJ. This one got pretty ugly, and it was not even close. For the River Rats, Lamar Jackson scored 24 and led the way. Rondale Moore, 24. And then Evans with 15. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Pharmacist, DeAndre Hopkins had a huge day with 35 points. Kirk Cousins, who's, overrated, whatever, 25 points. And Stephon Diggs with 23 as the Pharmacists run away with this one, 261 to 182.
All right. Now, finally, we have our KDFL Week 8 game of the week. It's the Midnight Riders being hosted by the Cross Vegas Gamblers. Tyreek Hill starts things off strong for the Midnight Riders with 32 points. DJ Moore, welcome back to the league. He finally shows up, pouring in 28 for the Gamblers, but Jamal Williams continues to impress with a reduced role for Swift as he's come back from injury. Williams pours in 22. Dalvin Cook pours in 25. It's just a back and forth. Probably our best game of the week so far. Tyler Algier in his last game with a huge role with Patterson coming back this week. He scores 18, and that's enough to give them right, boys. That's KDF week 8. That was like we said, talk about the actual NFL for a second. Disappointing games for you two fellas. Packers, Raiders.
I mean,
How are we feeling? We just did the therapy session. Go ahead, Phil.
that the old quarterbacks in the league are really struggling. They're not having a good season. So I think it's about time for those guys to kind of move on, it seems like.
Is Derek
Matt,
Carr
the beautiful
considered
Raiders
old?
game?
Well, I mean, Derek Carr's
he's
like
31 years old. So,
he's like middle old, I guess. I don't know. I was just talking about
They didn't
Rodgers and
show up.
Brady and
yeah,
yeah.
Raiders didn't show up at all. It's disgusting. Disgusting week overall.
I know we talked about it. Like, this would be a game. If this is like week 3, week 4, this is a game. I just didn't show up. Write that off. You didn't learn anything from that. But we're running out of chances to write stuff off, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, 2 and 4, and then on that to become 2 and 5. At least we get to watch them this coming weekend in Jacksonville, and that's going to be super exciting.
Oh yeah,
Whatever happens.
So pumped. And that was off the Raiders. That was off the Raiders bye, right? This last game.
I think. God, I don't know. I don't remember. I think did we not play the week before? And then we were off the week before that. I don't know. It's a
Yeah, it was week
terrible
6. They
season.
had the
I don't
bye.
even remember it.
Okay. I knew the bye was recent. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my fault. I knew the bye was recent. Because I was like, if you do that coming off a bye, good God. Okay, now something I noticed. I did not know this actually about a Zach Kiefer tweet that I found attributed to him. Analyst for The Athletic. We underestimated this at the time, but Colts lost a heck of an offensive mind when Nick Sirianni left to take the Eagles job in 2021. The Reich calls the plays. Sirianni had a huge role in game planning, scheming, and play scripts. Colts offense hasn't been the same since. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit and further evidence in my wrongful death suit against the Colts that you've killed my hero.
So he just left them this year.
Well, last year, right? Last year was his first year with
last year. Okay,
with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because there's plays and there's schemes and whatever it is, they look. I mean, it's not just. It wasn't just Ryan not being able to move. It is also Jonathan Taylor doesn't look good. He's been hurt. I mean, the offense just doesn't look like what it could. So, I think that's the hottest seat. I mean, that's a pretty hot seat right now in the NFL as far as expectations to results.
I mean, were the Colts considered good?
They were
Jonathan Taylor. That's about it.
They were minus 200 to win the division. It's pretty high for a division. And a bad division though, so I understand.
I meant when they had the Eagles head coach. Were they that good?
I would say
their offense.
Well, I mean, you got to think. Last year they had the horrible loss to miss in Jacksonville. They lose, but that was he's gone then. So before then, what did he have him? The Rivers year. The Rivers year was okay. They went to the playoffs, right? Yeah.
Did they? They didn't do anything meaningful if they did.
They did not. I think they went.
They lost first game.
They didn't go?
Okay.
Did they go? They lost first game, but they went?
First game, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. It's whatever. Same difference. Okay. Now, I got a couple other things, but we actually have a little bit of a jam-packed segment, so we're going to kind of move through these a little fast. I saw this comparison, and it made me think of another one. Christian McCaffrey goes to the Niners, and he's dominant. He was dominant last week. As dominant a game as you could have. By the way, Has throwing one, catching one, and rushing for one touchdowns. Hadn't happened since 2005. I was surprised by that. I thought it happened more recently. I know it's a crazy game, but like a Lamar wouldn't have done this maybe, or like it sounds dumb to say now. You got to think, 2005, a long time ago. Sanu threw him a few times, and he could. Like, I just thought maybe
Okay.
some gadget
For
player,
some
freaking
reason, like
Percy Harvin,
Deshaun
like
Jackson came to my head or something. Yeah, Percy
that's
Harvin.
fine
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
The great Taysom Hill.
Taysom
Yeah,
Hill
there
is
you go.
actually
Yeah.
the easiest one to freaking say.
Yeah.
I feel stupid now. Well done. That is exactly the guy that you would think
Nakati
did
owned
this.
for years now.
Yeah.
That is
Very
why
hard guy.
Matt is a
in
guest
fantasy.
host and write his name on Sharpie on a piece of tape. I mean, that's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Derrick Henry rushes. This stat blew my mind. 4 times in a row, he's rushed for 200 yards against the Texans. That's the guy that hand up me and Matt have always waited to bust. He never does. We're just like, oh, he's not real. Like, it just doesn't seem real that somebody could just run over other grown men like this and keep having this success. We just have egg on our face every year. Okay. Oh, I did all that to say. I skipped right past what I was going to say. CMC, awesome game. Does all this. He gets the comparison that he is Mike Trout because he was just a dominant beast in a team that never did anything.
Yeah.
And then I had one more comparison. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think Lamar Jackson is Aaron Judge if we're doing NFL to baseball comparison because I think he is a fantasy goldmine. I think he's a regular season dominating stats, but I don't think his play and all that is built for the postseason. Just like I don't think Aaron Judge's bat is built for the postseason.
I
What do
don't
we
know.
think?
I'm a big fan of Lamar.
I am too. We're separating. This is like the Jalen Hurts stuff all over again. Fantasy asset, yes. In an actual team, is he going to do something against elite defenses? I don't know.
I mean, he's still super young. It's like, what, 25? Something like that?
Yeah. As is Mr. Judge.
Feels like he's a lot older though than he is.
Judge isn't that old. He's older than that.
He's
Isn't he?
young, right?
I thought Judge was like 30 years
Judge?
old.
Yeah, Judge is going to turn 30 this year, I think.
Yeah, come on, Brett.
Judge is that old?
Yeah, baseball players
Yeah.
don't get paid forever, so they seem
Exactly
younger
30.
than they are.
That's what it is. Yeah. Exactly 30.
Yeah.
He's young. Okay, he's fine.
Well, baseball players last longer than NFL players too, but especially guys like Lamar. So who knows how many years he'll play?
Okay, let me find our next spot. All right. The other thing I have here, trade deadline, NFL trade deadline. I guess it was the busiest. I feel like they said it every year, but I guess this year was the busiest trade deadline they've seen. What move stood out to you fellas? Either one wants to go first and tell me, what move kind of stood out.
I mean, I'll start with the Bills. I don't understand what they do with their freaking. I mean, I'm coming from a guy that drafted James Cook. I don't see the point in their 10 running backs that they get with every year. Why do they need Naheem Hines? I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing. Yeah, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. They're favorites to win the Super Bowl, I'm sure, but I don't see their point in getting him versus maybe I don't know what his contract situation is or any of that, but it just baffles me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious one that stands out is McCaffrey to the Niners. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to be stopped, but I think Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins is a big one too. I mean, I think he's going to help out quite a bit, and the Dolphins might be a real contender like towards the end of the season in the playoffs.
Doing on.
To not expect us. Yeah, I don't get the Bills either. I saw it was Cowherd who said this, man. He said, I never thought I'd say this. I need the Bills to have a little more Falcons in them, as in running the ball and doing it effectively. And so I was like, oh man, we're in the twilight zone so far this season. This carriage will turn back into a pumpkin, but right now we're just gonna hang on and have some fun with it, I guess. It doesn't make any sense. I just think it's Josh Allen. He doesn't use running backs. They don't need running backs. He's a player that almost looks like he's energized by taking hits gets up, talking his mess, has just like Sandlot football fun out there. And they don't use running backs in that sense. Singletary looks fine when they handle the ball off. Cook has looked fine when he's been in the game. But drafting a receiving running back and then trading for, behind Kareem Hunt, probably the most notable receiving running back in the NFL. Just, I don't know. I'm a little lost on that one. I don't know what they're expecting from the running back room. RIP Chase Edmonds. I think it's over, my experiment with him. I was really, really hoping for big things. He's now, because the only thing I had holding on hope was the injury to Mostert, the annual injury to Mostert. But now he's just going to be in a crowded mess in Denver.
Oh, he got traded? I didn't know he was in the trade.
He's in the Bradley Chubb trade. He's a throw-in.
Nice.
My coveted offseason target was a throw-in. He's a Zach Moss.
He was dead in Miami, so it could help him a little bit.
He was.
Maybe.
We'll see. Maybe more opportunity. All right. Of course, this week we do have. I think we'll hit on that before we do our KDFL breakdowns for week 9. But we do have a lot of teams on bye this week, so we'll hit on that then. So, boys, this should be a fun one this week here. I know he's not here right now, but shout out to Detroit for he is the one who actually came up with this segment idea. It was when I talked to him about what we're wanting to see with the podcast. I've talked to you guys about this kind of individually and stuff, but I know I use the example of the watch-along streams that everybody thought. My dad still hates watch-along streams. He thinks it's the nerdiest, dumbest thing you could possibly do is watch other people watch the game that you're watching. I try to explain, the atmosphere and all that stuff and watch for reactions. People do it. Of course, started with Barstool. McAfee started doing it. Eli and Peyton. The big advantage Eli and Peyton and McAfee have is, of course, they have the rights to the game so they can show the game while they're doing it. But it is essentially a watch-along. So they've gained in a lot of popularity. So this podcast last year was about 20 viewers each time. Not terrible for a 12-person league that no one outside of the league should care about. This year, I don't know how. We started out at 40. In the last few weeks, we've been around the 60s to 70s, which blows my absolute mind that many people would actually watch these. So I thought to myself, what if, and Detroit came along with the actual ranking system to do it, but what if people were fans of the KDFL teams? What if there were Mega Powers fans wanting to know what we were going to do in the offseason, wanting to see our drafts, following along, Lumberjack fans, Zen Master fans? And imagine Evil Empire fans would just coincide with Patriots fans, exactly. I would imagine. Yeah. So we had another segment lined up, but Detroit came up with this, so we're going to roll with this. We're going to rank the 12 mascots of the KDFL. We did our own individual power rankings. We did the consensus, and we're going to talk about them. I kind of did it from a fan standpoint of what the fan experience might be like. So I'm sure this will make everybody happy. No one will feel slighted at their rankings, and it'll go great. So are we ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
All right. Coming in at number 12. Somebody's got to be last, okay? All right, that's how it works. Somebody's going to come in last. Coming in at number 12, the Poca Pharmacists, the KDFL alum, are not big fans of that mascot. My only note I have for them is, what would these fans be doing? They don't even know if their owner is even participating in the league. And what are they supposed to do in the stands? What's their call? Is it the Boone County, the Pill Rattle? Is that what they're supposed to be doing in the stands to rally the troops?
Yeah, my comment on them is, for one, it's just the pharmacist. It's not pharmacist.
It's just one guy.
It's just one guy. There's one pharmacist. And I'm like, I think it's funny knowing the name, meaning behind it, because it's a slight about the drug epidemic in West Virginia. But I don't think the actual fans of poker would appreciate the name very much. So I scored it pretty low, and it's only one game. It's not a group, just one.
Yeah, I always put an S though at the end for some reason, but yeah, I don't know why. See, I mean, you can see on the screen I put an S.
I didn't pick up on that until look at our little graphics. My gosh, man, we are getting big time. I didn't pick up on it about the no S.
I did whenever I was on
very
the
nice
standings today, and I was like, "There's only one, so just a pharmacist."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, it's literally a slight to your fans. I mean, so it's just a terrible mascot. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
That one came in with scores of 12, 11, 12, and 8. All right, next up. I feel bad about this because the only reason I feel bad is because it's an OG name. That's the only thing that bothers me. It is the original name, I believe, when you came into the league. The Kanawha County Kings are next. They come in with scores of 10, 12, 10, and 9. Higher number of the worst, by the way, if you weren't keeping up with that. My notes on this one. Detroit actually had this the lowest with the 12. My notes on this one. They can't be last due to the legacy. However, there is already another pro team called the Kings.
Yeah, true.
I don't like it's like the Cardinals. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's generic. I said it's catchy, but why does he? One thing that bothers me is we are the Kanawha Dynasty Fantasy League, and this man chooses to be the Kanawha County. Like
Right.
you're the whole league. Like you're the United States is what you're saying. That's your team name. So,
He's like the Carolina Panthers. Like he took
also,
both states.
Yeah, this owner has considered, for people that don't know him, this is Timbo the King. He has considered himself the king for half his life now. So it makes sense.
Yeah, where did that come from? How did he get that name? There's no way somebody named him that.
I think he named it himself when he was 15 years
No,
old.
that is 100% a self-appointed name.
Okay.
We would not be able to rationalize with this man if someone else called him a king. It's an old Xbox gamer tag, Timbo the King. Oh my gosh! So Detroit has a 12. I had 10. Phil had 10. Matt had 9. So Kanawha County Kings come in at 11. All right. Next up, this is our first huge deviation from the others. Next up, we have the Dogtown Dobermans. Now, there's the scores here: 11, 10, 11, and Angry Matt Smith ranks the Dobermans his favorite fan base mascot, whatever we want to say.
I'll go first.
Matt, let's talk about.
Number one. First off, it's Dogtown. It's a cool name. So I said, love the name and the town Dogtown, which people may or may not consider that the great city of Dunbar, city of gardens and all that. But for whatever reason, Dogtown Dobermans gives me the Raiders vibe. Like they're just going to fight, stab, do whatever to people. I just imagine it's a bunch of crazy, angry Raiders fans that's just out and dark and angry and doing a bunch of crazy random stuff. And I don't know, Dogtown Doberman sounds cool. I think it sounds the coolest.
Light it up.
You all hate it, so go ahead.
I don't. No, that's not fair. That's why I do the disclaimer. I don't hate any of these names, but somebody has to be first and somebody has to be last.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the other names better too, but I mean, I don't really have much to say. For some reason, I just don't like the name. I don't know why. As much as the other ones, I guess I should say. The cool part is Dogtown Dobermans. I mean, that makes sense. So aesthetically, it makes sense, but I don't know. It's not one of my favorites. Aesthetically. Is that the right word? Probably not. Who cares? I don't know.
Phonetically. Or no, aesthetically is like, aesthetically is looking, phonetically is hearing. Yeah. I'm a little on the edge of my element here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I have is I love, and I talked about this when the now Commanders were going through the name change. I like a dog nickname, and there's only one K9 style. T-Wolves is the only one that is in the pro sports, as far as I know. probably get checked on that somewhere. But as far as I know off the top of my head, that's the only other canine style dog. So I do like the idea of the stands, the howls, all that stuff. But something had to go here, and it is an OG, I believe. Might be pushing me there. I think it is an original name. But nevertheless, the Dobermans come in 10th. Now, we just did Matt's number 1 ranking. Next up, Matt's number 12 ranking. I have him at 6, Detroit at 6, Phil at 9. This is a big surprise to me. The Southfields Evil Empire gets this ranking. So, Matt, we'll kick it back to you again. What has happened here?
I don't know. I feel like we were doing big reveals with our names and stuff. He's a fairly new name. Used to be Glasgow?
Gladiators, Gunslingers.
Okay,
It's been through a lot.
I don't know. This just seems too generic for me. Whatever. He's a juggernaut. He's the commish. It makes sense. But just Evil Empire just seems Disney-esque. I don't know. Something that I don't.
Star Wars.
Star
know.
Wars, yeah.
Yeah, I guess Star Wars. Like, maybe come up with some different adjectives or something besides Evil Empire. I don't know. Don't mean to hate, but I am hating, so whatever.
Hey,
he's
no disrespect.
So he'll be all right.
No disrespect. Here's some disrespect. I had it written down that it was pretty fitting. I thought the name fit for what he was. And I did have written down that it's the only mascot in the KDFL without an S on the end, but that was proven wrong to me with our first reveal with the single pharmacist out of Polka.
But Empire is plural, so
look at us, dude. Aesthetically, phonetically, English lessons around this episode. This is amazing.
I don't know if we're using them in the right place.
Phil, did you have anything on this one? We are. Oh, we are. This is Dunbar.
No,
this is 2/3 of Dunbar education here.
And I'm Riverside, so it's pretty close as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't have much to say. I think it's kind of fitting, like you guys were saying. But yeah, I don't know. I just like other ones better. So.
Okay. All right. Next up, we're just doing all Matt's bottom tier first, I guess here. Next up, we have the Rocks Atlanta Renegades. I had him at 7, Detroit at 9, Phil at 5, and Matt at 11. So we're just gonna keep kicking the Matt first when he's the outlier like this.
Nonstop for this.
No, your other ones are coming.
No, this is kind of like Phil for whatever reason. I don't know why. His name doesn't do much for me for whatever reason. I don't have much else to say on that one.
Okay. Phil, do you have anything?
Yeah, I kind of like the way this one kind of rolls off the tongue, like Rocks Atlanta Renegades. It kind of flows really well. And I don't know if I like the X Ambassadors. You guys probably don't know who that band is, but one of their big songs is the Renegades. So it always sticks in my head for some reason. But I think it's a pretty good name.
Okay. All right, I have on here. I love. Y'all know my naming style for teams. I try to get away from it, but I love the double letter. I love the rocks, the R and then the R. My big question. This is off the top of the head. I don't know of a clear mascot for the Renegades. What do y'all picture as their mascot? What comes to your
That's one
your
reason
mind?
why I ranked it 11th, because nothing comes to my mind, really.
We need some clarity. We need some clarity, right?
It's
I got
Yeah,
it in my head. I wanna see
thinking of
if Phil comes close.
like
Phil
Sons of
might come
Anarchy or
close
something.
here.
That's the first thing that comes to my
Oh,
mind. I don't know
no.
why.
Oh, I had Animal from the Muppets. Just a big crazy
Okay,
dude.
yeah, I was way off there.
I thought me and Phil were having a moment. He was like Sons of Anarchy.
There was no way we were getting that.
Jax Teller. Okay, so love the double letter. I gotta see him. I said love the double letter. Gotta see a mascot, and I have animal in parentheses. All right, next one. Let's see if we get out of the Matt. We do get out of the Matt Slight House here. Next up, I have him at 8, Detroit at 8, Phil at 8, Matt at 7. This is our most uniform. Yeah. Overall, this is by far our most uniform, agreed-upon mascot. The Cross Vegas Gamblers land right here. Matt, what do we have?
Just knowing, just growing up in the beautiful city of Dunbar, I know look, Cross Lanes and the dog track. If you don't know, if you're not from there, I don't know exactly it makes any sense at all. The Cross Vegas Gamblers, but that's I have them ranked there because of the catchiness and the originality to it. You have for the dog track casino in Cross Lanes.
Huge sponsorship for Cross Vegas. they're tied into the gambling industry pretty tightly.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, he should get some free chips each month or something.
What do you have, Phil?
I don't have much to say on this one. I mean, it is good originality for the first name for like the town, but the Gamblers just, I mean, it's a perfect fit for Cross Vegas. I feel like I don't really see any other mascot that could go with that.
Yeah, I have interesting concept. I don't know how it plays in the stadium. I mean, they've had their success. They've had their one championship. I'm sure the people. I believe this is also when he came into the league. This one has never been changed, as far as I know. All right, next, and this is one that I believe. No, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting turned around. Yeah, this is the one I'm highest on. We're back on Matt's slight train here. I am at 4. Detroit has him at 7. Phil has him at 6. Matt at 10. And we're going to talk about this one because it is the Elkview River Rats podcast absentee Detroit. Now, Matt, explain yourself because we know Daggone well as being from Dunbar. Go ahead.
Okay. So there you have the Dunbar, the annual Thanksgiving parade. Annual Thanksgiving parade. Amazing festival called the Commode Bowl, which is a bunch of idiots playing football, tackle football, grown men playing tackle football. And there's the beautiful railroad tracks that split up the city of Dunbar. The river side are called the River Rats, and the mountain side, where me, Brett, Timmy, and everybody that I know in Dunbar for the most part are Mountain Rams. So screw the River Rats, first of all, just based off of that. But the reason I ranked them 10, really, if you live in the city of Elkview, would you not hate the owner for choosing this team name? Imagine the tailgate parties and all the invites, and you have to embrace, I'm a River Rat. Like, what are you wearing?
I picture the mouse nose and ears on everybody. I think it's a great time.
Maybe. I don't know.
By the way, I think Tim was a river rat.
I had no idea.
Wouldn't Tim be a river rat, by the way?
No. Oh, yeah, I guess he would have been when he was younger.
Gross Cup.
Moved to the mountain.
Yeah. He converted mountain rat. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What, Phil, what'd you say?
I knew none of that information. I have no idea what river rats were on this side of the road.
You gotta go Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
no idea.
just there's no way Detroit knew that information either. Just for the record.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't think.
But I could see them actually I don't know, roasting rats on a skewer thing on game day or something. I think that would be a funny thing for them to do.
Hey,
how are they killing their own mascot?
Well, it's more of
what?
I don't know, like they're worshiping the rat or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Sacrifice?
That's what I'm thinking about it for some reason. Yeah.
For anybody that lives in Elkview right now, they are hanging up on our live stream. They're disgusting.
They're unplugging that landline phone cord and they're done with this crap. Why would they cook? Do you think Falcons fans are eating live Falcons at the game?
But it's different because nobody likes rats. So I mean, you're just gonna let rats run around and stuff. I mean, come on.
This picture Arizona.
Do you eat them? Do you eat them?
Maybe they don't eat them.
For the hell of it?
But maybe they can eat them. But I don't know. Maybe they just carry them around in a cage on game day.
Arizona's like, who's got the Cardinals? I got the grill preheated. Throw them
on. Those are different. That's a different thing. You know what it is.
Oh, what's the most edible animal? We're off the rails. What's the most edible animal in pro sports?
I don't know.
Lion? Tiger? I don't know. We're moving on.
Maybe a bull or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely a bull. Well done. 100% a bull.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm back on track. Cool. Okay, good.
There's no chickens or cows, right?
I don't think so. Maybe a heifer.
Maybe it's
a heifer.
All right. That was way more than I hoped for. That was incredible. So next we have I am at 5. Detroit had him at 4. Phil had him at 3. And Mr. Not wanting to reflect on himself, put himself at 6 to kind of kick the can down and put him down this low. We have the Zen Masters of Nocatee. Take it away, Matt, with the self-analysis.
I mean, if we're going on the fan base alone, I said NA when I turned in these rankings. Brett made me rank them. So I would make him number 1. I mean, we're going to be, as a fan base, before games, we're going to go to the beach. We're going to do a little bit beachside yoga, zen out a little bit for the brain before our games. Doesn't matter how our team's playing or anything. We're going to have a nice, peaceful mind. After that, we'll go to the water park for a little bit, chill out a little bit more, go on our golf cart ride before the game starts, tailgate and the palm trees and everything, and just live life zen as can be.
I love it. Phil?
I mean, it honestly does sound like the best pregame ritual of any of the fan bases so far, for sure. I had him at number 3, I think, didn't it? Is that what you said?
Cooking our ass.
3?
Yeah, you have it at 3.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the catchier names in the league too. I like Nocatee, and then Zen Masters. It feels like it goes with Nocatee for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does.
My notes is this is the biggest disparity between attitude and the owner. Okay.
Yeah, that too.
This is like if the Colts were named the Indianapolis Prohibitions and had Jim Irsay as their owner. This is terrible. But I love the mantra, and I had you at 5. I had you at 5. I mean, you overall ranked pretty high. So I love the mantra, love the meditate, love the Zen. It's such. I just picture like a bunch of monks in the stands, everybody in their robes and stuff, and you get the hum.
And then Matt's in the owner's box.
Everybody starts to dude. Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. So Zen Masters coming.
You won't be able to see me. You won't be able to see me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't explain the angry Matt name on here. I kind of forgot to do that. The Zen Masters. So yeah, good job on that. So,
there we go.
To explain the opposite. So,
it is the goal. Okay, it's a lifestyle to aspire to.
It is the goal.
Okay. It's like enlightenment. You can never fully achieve it. You're in search of it. Okay.
Yep.
You're in search of it. We're getting philosophical now. Now, this next one was a tie for 3rd, but we'll go alphabetical order. I guess reverse of that. I have it at 3. Detroit has it at 5. Phil has it at 7 because he's a hater. And Matt has him at 2. It is the Melbourne Mega Powers that Phil already spelled incorrectly on the graphic. The Me Powers. There we go. We have fixed it. Now let me just lay it down. So we'll all talk about our own first. A picture of the sea of red and yellow, very standout, very bright colors. A picture in the stadium, real American hits. Everybody's fired up. It's just a great atmosphere. We too have the beach before we go. We don't have the Zen stuff. We're more of rocking out type thing and pretty high strung. So it's a beach atmosphere. It's the exact opposite, probably for the worst, but whatever. Great sponsorships. Now, the only thing I think about this as far as favorability, I can see a direct tie because as far as I know, Phil was not a huge wrestling guy. Am I right? You weren't a huge early 90s wrestling guy.
That's why I had him ranked so low. It's a good name, but it just doesn't connect with me as much. So
I think the appreciation for the name is directly tied to how much you were into wrestling and all that. Honestly,
sure.
do. So I could see you being low. What do you have, Matt? What do you got for me? You give out boas in the game. Everybody's throwing it up when they get a sack.
I got him number 2. I mean, as a guy that's dressed up as Macho Man before for Halloween. I mean, just go to Macho Man Hogan every time, mainly based on being a wrestling fan, and it's a solid team name. I even think a major sport team should take this name, get the copyrights from wrestling, and just be the damn Mega Powers and just dominate. It'd be a good sports team.
I am glad that we have this live on camera right now. We just captured in our 20 plus years of friendship the nicest Matt has ever been to me right here. I'm tearing up right now. The eyes are watering. This is the nicest moment we've ever shared. I'm so glad Phil was here to witness. And these 3 people in the chat. Four people in the chat now watching this moment.
2 of them are you, aren't they?
All right. Next up. This is going to be. Okay, here we go. Next up.
Yeah,
Detroit has them at 2. Phil has them at 1. Matt has them at 5. I have them at a very disrespectful 9. Phil, the Lumberjacks of Wake Forest, even say it. Take it away. You go first, like me and Matt did with ours.
Look, I mean, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I know people probably think it's a basic name, Lumberjacks. But there's more to it than that. You got to take into account Wake Forest. I mean, does that not make sense to anybody else but me? Like, I know you, Matt, you like it, I think, and Detroit likes it. He has it pretty high too. Wake Forest Lumberjacks. I mean, it just makes too much sense to me. I don't know.
Are you ready?
I mean, before today, I've always thought it was a stupid name, and then I started on this ranking. It's like, oh, the Forest and the Lumberjacks go together. Like, okay,
exactly. People don't think about that for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, here we go. Because I'm the exact opposite of this. I think I'm probably the overthinker here, and that's fine. I think it is an absolute oxymoron name to where if you're a Forest, what is like the number one thing you do not want to see is a daggone lumberjack. If your nickname had its way with your city, I'm going to steal a line from Matt here. If your nickname had its way with its city, you would just be called Wake. If your mascot had your name with your team. Now, I will give you this. I have written down this franchise has had more name changes and more jersey swaps than Kenny Lofton. Okay, they have been everything. So I'm picturing that this fan. Go through them first, and then I'll get into it. Go ahead.
All right. So it started with the Georgia Street Gangsters and the Barbersville
Don't
Bandits.
Even remember that. Go ahead.
Nitro Neanderthals, Nightdale Dragons, and now Wake Forest Lumberjacks.
All right, so more jerseys, and think about these poor fans, all these merchandise they've had to buy over and over. So here's what I'm picturing. Like I said, more jerseys than Kenny Lofton. That was my favorite little zinger line. All right. So the team is moving to Wake Forest. They already brought all their Dragon stuff. Now that's down the tubes. It's worthless now. So now they get out of the merchandise store. They have on their flannel, their little rubber axe. It's awesome. They're all fired up. Chop wood, right? Chop on could be the freaking name of the hashtag for the team. It's great. And then this fan who's all fired up for his new merchandise this season, he looks down at his phone. He gets the alert. What the heck? We traded Derrick Henry for James Robinson and AJ Green. Like, picture that from a fan standpoint, Phil. I'm pissed.
Did you have to go there? You really had to go there?
I just picture a fan just at a bar and Wake Forest just looked at, what do we do?
Hey, I said it in the recap earlier today. I was talking about it too.
Wait.
Yeah, I heard you say it. We don't need to keep bringing that up. We just let it go.
Tired of this crap every year.
I can't give Phil crap for changing his name. I've been in the league like 4 years. I've changed my name 4 different times. So
you guys are just you're exploiting your fan bases. You're exploiting the crap out of your fan bases.
So
yeah,
no more moving. Hopefully,
I got lucky to move to an M city. All right, that was my lumberjack rant. I think people are going to think I overthought it. I probably did. I just thought because you wanted to be, if I remember. You also wanted to be the Oak City Destroyers at one point. And I said, Phil, that sounds like people that destroyed Oak City when I read it. It sounds like the Destroyers of Oak City.
I feel like you could think about that either way, though. I mean, they could be destroying other things.
You can. You're dealing with a madman here, Phil, okay? The brain just, okay?
I mean,
all right.
That's a word you could use, I guess.
You're not dealing with a full box of crayons up here, okay? All right, next.
Sure.
Next up, let me get back to it. Next up, I was glad to see us kind of come together at the top here. I felt like we did, and this one was a pleasant surprise to see everybody else kind of come along. I am at 2, Detroit at 3, Phil at 4, Matt at 3. It's the Hurricane Wampus Cats, and that's the only team name I echo back whenever they do it. The Wampus Cats. I don't know why. I have written down here. It's creative. It's fun. I have no clue what a Wampus Cat is. I tried to look it up. It just looks like a damn mountain lion. I have no idea.
Yeah.
What makes a cat wampus? What do you think? What do you have, Matt?
Yeah, I just think Hurricane and Wampus go together. It's a great name. Most people not in the league would not understand that E is silent in Hurricane. Hurricane
sure.
Wampus doesn't sound as good, but Hurricane Wampus. And just, it's a Wampus cat. Like, it's badass.
Like, what is
Great
it?
name. It's only something the Great Bustin would come up with. The
It's
fans would love
perfect.
this owner.
Encapsulates the ownership. Encapsulates the ownership perfect because it's like it makes me think of the Blades of Glory gift when he's on the treadmill. It's provocative. Nobody knows what it means. It gets the people going. Wampus Cats.
I definitely think it's like a cool name, but I think it's also the funniest name at the same time. Like it's just crazy
It
out
is.
there. It's like Wampus, but it always makes me think of Waffle for some reason. I don't know why. From like I think a Family Guy says that or something, or some other movie.
I feel like it's I forgot the name of the ink plot test that they do, where you see the Wampus Cat, you think of something different, and 11 other people can see it. They think of something different. It's like it's its own world. Okay, possibilities are endless.
Okay,
it is funny though that the cat
what you're
ends up
talking
this
about,
high.
right.
It's the ink blot therapist.
No,
What do
I
you
meant-
see?
I didn't know how you got there from that though. That's what I'm confused about.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you, man. Gears turning. It's funny to me that of all the mascots, a cat is obviously the most common animal. A cat or a bird, probably a cat though. The most common animal used across pro sports, right? So it's funny to me that ends up being number 2.
Yeah.
All right, number 1, and this was again cool to see. I come in at 1, Detroit comes in at 1, Phil comes in at 2, Matt comes in at 4, so all respectable grades. The Marmette Midnight Riders, our favorite KDFL mascot and fan base. Matt, what do you have for this?
I mean, one thing Marmette Midnight Rider sounds cool to me, but I wasn't in the league when it first started. What exactly does it mean? A Midnight Rider? Is it? I know there's a song or whatever, but
I think there's 2 different ways you can do it. You could do motorcycle club or you could do cowboy and stuff like that. And based on his picture and avatar and everything, it's cowboy based.
I don't know if I've ever even paid attention to his picture. That's
cowboy,
my fault there.
For some reason, I think
Okay.
like of
Well,
Ghost
there we go.
Rider when I hear it. I don't know why. So like a motorcycle kind of
Ghost Rider, I think Ghost Rider is a popular thing
Yeah.
that people would think of.
Yeah.
What
But
came to my mind is people on Marmette are doing Fast and Furious style stuff all night long, and I said I could imagine these fans being like the Bills Mafia, just been wild and ridiculous in Marmette.
I have it written
Yeah.
down. Like I have that written down because I've compared them to the Bills before in not favorable terms because of the going to the championship and losing. But that's the closest fan base to the Marmette Midnight Riders is the Bills. I picture the guns with hopefully blanks in them. Everybody's pow pow. The church goes to hats. Get the guy riding on the horse before the game, dude. It'd be awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
There it is. So for the people that haven't been around, I know last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, we did the rank the owners in a bar fight. Where the hell they'd fare. So this time we do ranking of the mascots and fan bases. We'll get a lot of comments on this one, I'm sure. But so if you are new to the pod, now you have a little bit of a rundown, a little bit more history, a little bit more things to pull you in and make you feel identified with the league. That was fun. I just wanted to do that lumberjack bit with Phil so bad. I've been looking forward to it all day. He started talking to me about it in DMs. I said, stop talking to me about it before we ruin it. Okay. All right. So, are we ready for the KDFL Week 9?
I'm not yet. 1 second. Do we want to talk about the trade that happened earlier?
Oh, yes, we do. It's definitely why we're not ready. My bad. I skipped right over it because I was amped to talk about the mascots. All right, let me find it here. We did have a trade go down in the KDFL. Right now, we have the Wampus Cats are sending Tony Pollard, Khalil Herbert, and Greg Dolchich to the Pharmacists for Najee Harris and Darren Waller. So, what is our reaction to that?
Phil, you want to go first?
I was going to let you go first.
I'll go first. I don't care. I really think LJ wins this trade. I think Farmers is winning this trade. For one, as a Raiders fan, Darren Waller, I don't know what the hell's happened to him. Supposedly injuries, but he seems kind of checked out. I get all the tweets for the Raiders and all that, following him all the time. They talk about how he's got this new girlfriend. She parties all the time. I don't think Waller's back into doing anything, but he's definitely checked out compared to how he's been the past few years. So I would have tried to trade him myself if I had him. And then Najee's just been – I mean, that's a gamble, though. I do like to gamble. I always like to gamble on fantasy players. So, but Najee is a gamble compared to Pollard and who's the other running back that he trade? Khalil Herbert looks like a beast. So
Yeah.
And then I was watching the Broncos and Jags game, and the Broncos wide receiver or tight end, he looks like a beast too. So, I mean, Buston's going for the younger Najee. They could turn it around, but for this year specifically, I think it helps the Pharmacists way more than it helps the Wampus Cats.
Okay, so I am in agreement with you. Now, look, everybody likes to talk about this is the Daggone Fantasy Football Podcast. I've been right, I've been wrong, I've been all over the place. Everybody has. So we got to give the opinion on it. And this is what I shared. This is what I shared right here. This right here, give it time to focus in. That graph, you can't even see the yellow line. That blue line is with that yellow line. Can't see it, of course, because I suck. There we go.
Hey,
The blue line's with that yellow line. That yellow line is Trent Richardson. Famously a fantasy start strong and bust. That yellow line or that blue line is Najee Harris, and that is too close for me. And I saw those clips of Najee Harris catching the ball on the side and just dancing for no reason. They said it looked like Trent Richardson did. So I think LJ traded for Najee with the thought of getting younger back and getting rid of Kamara, and I think he saw what he had and moved on quickly from him, and I think got a pretty good return. I mean, Montgomery's gone after this year. That's almost a certainty. He is gone. I don't know if Pollard will ever get the show. I feel like he might always be like that guy that we're waiting for him to get the dance and he never gets it. Maybe like Lindell White or something like that. But Najee and Warren looks good. That's the other thing that scares me. The backup to Najee, he looks solid. So I worry about that. I also Waller. Give me more insight on him. What do we think about? I worry about one day we're gonna get a breaking news. Darren Waller has retired. I really do.
I don't know. I don't know. He does a ton of charity work. He does all this, but every tiny minor injury, he's not playing for whatever reason this year. And last year, he started ever since the Cowboys game. Last year, Thanksgiving, he hasn't done anything since then. That's the last time I've seen him do anything because he's been out for various reasons. Very, very frustrating. And we paid him too. Guys get paid and they forget how to do stuff.
We're working on something here. We're trying to work on something. I think you know what we're trying to work on, Matt. We're trying to vamp a little bit here. Hold on. Let me just try. Let me just see. I'm just gonna go with it, Phil. We're just gonna our first call out of the pod. Okay.
What?
Yo.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Is it good?
Yeah, that's good.
I can hear you.
Okay, so we're doing it this way, Detroit, because he was wanting to come in, but we got the frames laid out and everything like that. If he comes in, I'm pretty sure Matt's frame will split in half and all this stuff. So
I'm only hearing you though. Can I hear them?
you can hear them if you pull up the. That's gonna be delayed. Hold on. Let's see here. You don't need to hear them.
Okay. No biggie.
Are you gonna do it? Are you just gonna say it?
Hold on.
Sure. I would like to make an announcement.
Hold on. Matt's gonna say
All right.
something in my ear first, real quick.
Phil, do we want to? Are we not good? No. No announcement.
Hold on, Detroit.
You
Hold
can-
on.
go
Phil,
through- go
Detroit,
through
wait
the
a
other-
second.
Go through
No,
that
I
one first.
want, I
and then
want
give
Phil
me
to
like,
answer first.
Should've
I
played
want
this
Phil to
better.
answer
You're
first.
fine.
Wait a second, Detroit.
so the fifth is good. I mean, the fifth rounder is good
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I love this. I don't know. I'm gonna mute my phone.
Can we make it a fourth? You got a fourth?
Yeah, I got the last fourth. It's not mine. It's like LJ's or something. Or it's Dustin's.
Okay.
I think it's Dustin's. Deal?
It's early. I mean, it's early. It's still early.
We've been talking all day for anybody that's wondering.
It's just so. I mean, is he already bust? I mean, it's just too early. I don't know. All right, let's do it. I agree.
Yes. All right. Major news from Nocatee. Go ahead. Detroit can do the first thing.
Okay, Detroit is doing.
Hold on, wait.
Detroit
One second. 1 second, real fast.
Hold on,
and
hold on.
Phil, Detroit and Phil do not know about either one of these. So go ahead.
Right. All right.
All right,
Apparently, Matt
are you
has
moving
been a
Trevor?
secret agent all day. No, he's
Okay.
not. All right,
Okay.
Detroit,
No,
you
I'm not-
announce yours
not
first
trading
into the
him, no.
mic.
Alrighty. The Elkview River Rats have decided to trade their greatest draft pick in history, Lamar Jackson, to the Zen Masters for a 2023 first-round pick, 2024 first-round pick, and Derek Carr, plus if that 2023 pick does not finish in the top 3, I get his 2025 first-round pick.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm gonna
I'm
need a
selling the
recap
farm.
because it's okay. All right, Detroit, I'm hanging up with you.
All right.
You are the man. Thank you. What a great call in.
Yes. Great doing business with you.
Call
I
out.
got
There's a
I
call
got all this written down for you so we can go
All
through it.
right.
Phil,
Hit
do
the
you
other
want to say
hammer.
the next one? Phil, do you want to say the next
No,
one?
you can say it. I don't feel like it.
Yes. Phil, I said
I already regret it. I already regret it. So
You regret it? You really do?
I mean, I don't know. Just say it. I don't care. My team sucks.
Okay, well, Phil gets a lot too. Phil gets LJ Mike's 2023 first round pick, whichever's last, because Dustin has the other pick of mine. Pat Fryermuth, Marcus Mariota, LJ's 2023 second, and my 2023, or Dustin's 2023 fourth. Yes, that's it. And I get Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my. Okay. Mariota comes back to Wake Forest. I believe he was there
Full
at one
circle.
point.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Original draftee.
Yeah.
So Matt's quarterbacks have now. Derek Carr is gone. In the Derek Carr jersey, this man did this. Detroit just messaged. He forgot that he also gets a fourth.
Yeah, he gets a fourth. Yeah, he gets my
Okay.
fourth.
Oh no! What do you have?
No, I don't have anything. Keep going.
Oh yeah, you don't have anything. Okay. Sorry. So
He
much
cut his video.
is going on. Got the video feed. Oh, what an episode! This is also going to be a long episode, by the way.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, I'm back. I was trying
That's
to.
good.
I love it.
I think he wanted to make the trade just for this.
Oh, that just went
Yeah.
live on the YouTube right now. I'm watching it. I'm watching the YouTube. Great audio.
But I've been all. I think I didn't work at all today trying to talk to Eric, trying to talk to Phil in Detroit all day. I've been trying to talk to him for weeks actually, and they both threw him out there. So I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I want to get him.
Right. There we go. So with that, I mean, we'll recap these. We'll throw it in the KDFL completed trades. Feels like a lot of picks, huge names. Lamar Jackson, new team. Trevor Lawrence, not off to the start that we wanted. This was supposed to be the guy. So as a season ticket holder, Matt is legally obligated to try to draft this man to try to get him on the Zen Masters.
It's true, and the shirt Brett will be wearing Sunday.
That is definitely my exact outfit Sunday. So let's get that on the record now. That is the exact outfit I'll be wearing Sunday for the Jacksonville game. Boys, this is already a crazy long episode. So what we're gonna do now, best episode
real quick.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through the matchups. KDFL Week 9. Oh, we probably should have ended with the trade news because this is electric. Here we go.
I wanted to do it before we talk this.
Oh, because the matchups. Duh. Exactly.
Yeah, the matchups.
Exactly. Duh. Okay. First up, let's get it started here. I gotta get it on my screen correctly. We have Matt. You're gonna go first, then Phil, then me. Just a few bullet points if you have them, and then we'll move on to the next. Real quick, our records. Let me get our records going into this. Matt, of course, in his lone appearance this year was 5-1. Detroit was 4-2 last week. He improves to 34-14. I was 4-2, 28-20 on the season. Phil was an impressive 5-1 last week. He also is 28-20. So, first up, we have the 2-6 Lamarless River Rats. Look at the graphics. Look at Phil.
Oh man!
But Phil was gone in the graphics though. I like the effort. I like the effort. The 2-6 now Lamarless River Rats travel to Dogtown to take on the undefeated Dobermans. Matt, take it away.
I already knew the Lamar news. So I said Dobermans get stronger every week. Apparently, River Rats get weaker every week. Dobermans kill the River Rats this week.
Phil.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple too. I mean, without Lamar, I didn't think he had much of a chance with Lamar, but especially without Lamar now, it's not going to be close. Dobermans.
Real quick, all I have on this is it's a great matchup for Miles Sanders and Alvin Kamara. I think the Eagles will get up on the Texans and they'll let their foot off the gas like they have been historically doing. You don't see a lot in the second half from that offense. Likely can be valuable if Andrews is out, the tight end for the River Rats, plays for Baltimore. And the River Rats have somehow dodged the CMC revenge game. He was on the River Rats for a cup of coffee this season. He is on bye this week. So he will not have to go against him. But then the defense is just far too much for Dogtown. I have the Dobermans. Real quick, I meant to say this at the beginning, but obviously we had huge breaking news. This is our most intense bye week of the NFL season. We have the Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, and Niners. Those are hugely impactful teams when it comes to fantasy. So all those on bye will make for a pretty shaky week. So we all go Dobermans in the first matchup. Next up, we have the Cross Vegas Gamblers, I believe at 4-4, taking on the fresh off their dub Kings at 1-7. Matt, take it away.
Very close matchup.
I'm wrong. Fresh off the dub.
Yeah, they just lost 1-1 past two games. But who would have thought Geno Smith has the edge over Tom Brady in this matchup? Jacobs should hopefully bounce back this week for the love of God against the beloved Jags. The Gamblers starting to look like an older dynasty team if you look at their team. And let's not forget the last time I was on here, I called the Kanawha County Kings was getting their victory. And there's no way I can go against that this time. The Kings are winning. Again, they're getting their second victory this week against the Gamblers.
Phil.
Yeah. I got to disagree on this one. I know it's close. I think the Gamblers, they're probably getting close to some type of rebuild maybe in the next year or two. But I'm still going to go Gamblers just barely with the win here.
Let's see what I have. It's actually a very close projection. I really believe that those bye weeks are having an effect. Gino does get Arizona. That's an amazing matchup for him. The Gamblers are without Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, and Daniel Jones, who, despite last week, has been pretty strong this season. It's just too much missing. I'm with you. I'm on board with the Kings. Kings get win number 2 right here.
That's
All right. So, yeah. Next up, we have the 2-6 Melbourne Mega Powers taking on, fresh off a W, 3-5 Marmot Midnight Riders. Matt, take it away.
I'd say the Mega Power fans have to be asking questions from ownership based on how the team's looking this year. Not very Mega Power-ish lately. I can't say that.
You deserve that.
You're down to Andy Dalton again this week with Dak been on bye. Marmot, all of a sudden, they're like 3-5, but they look strong again. They're projected 253. Say Marmot's got this victory.
Yeah, I got to agree on this one. Pretty quick analysis. Really no analysis on my part, I guess. Midnight Riders get the win easily here.
I think the Midnight Riders are rounding the form. That was a huge win for them last week against the Gamblers. It's matchup strength for them all across the board. And here in Melbourne, we're focused on Josh Palmer getting more play against that Atlanta secondary. And in that same game, we need to see a little bit more of Drake London after the hot start. But yeah, winner, Midnight Riders. All right, next up, we have the 3-5 Lumberjacks against the 7-1 Evil Empire. Matt, take it away.
One interesting fact: Phil's the only one to actually beat the Evil Empire this year, all the way back in week 2. I don't know. Evil Empire gets stronger. Phil's team's looking a little rough, but they do got Mary Godin now, so I mean it could be changing. But I got the Evil Empire. It's hard to go against them. That's 49-point spread. They're winning.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the chances increased a little bit with the trade I just made, going from Trevor Lawrence to Mariota at their current play levels. But yeah, I'm not going to beat them again. There's no way. So I got that one win early in the season. That's going to be it. So Evil Empire easily here.
I wish Matt would have said, without Lawrence, they don't have a chance. I have here Will Hurts let off the gas. This being up so much is kind of hurting his value in the second half. He's been a stud, but he could be ultra tier if he had to stay competitive all game long. Playing Houston's not gonna have that happen. Empire, one of the few teams that has a very strong 2 QB matchup this week with all these bye weeks. They still have Mahomes and they still have Hurts going. It's a revenge match for the Evil Empire, as we alluded to. Their one loss was at the hand of the Lumberjacks, and I think Chubb being on bye makes a huge difference in this matchup. Evil Empire get the win and the revenge. All right, the mid game, as quoted by the commish. Up next, the 4-4 Zen Masters taking on the 4-4 Wampus Cats. Take it away.
I'm still waiting for my game of the week matchup. Maybe if I win this week, and with the Lamar and Trevor Lawrence. I don't think I've had one. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But currently, so I'm projected to lose by 34. That's without the changes on both of our teams because Wampus Cats made a change earlier this year or today. So I currently don't have a kicker. I'll be picking one up now that I have a spot. Wampus Cats has Waller and Najee instead of Pollard, Herbert, and Dolchik. So I feel like their projection's got to be going down. Mine should go up a little bit with the QBs. But I would have said Buston was winning until these trades happened. So I'm not going against myself. Going to be 5-4. Surprise team of the year. Keeping it going.
Yeah, I mean, how can I go against this outfit? And now that he has Trevor Lawrence, he made the trade live on the podcast. Got to go Zen Masters with the win here.
Phil, about you want to shirts to go with our trade?
I mean,
okay, that works. Yeah, I'll take one.
I'm at a loss right now because of I had on here a large QB advantage goes to the Wampus Cats. Now I don't know because Lamar is fantasy dynamite as we know. The fun thing, DK I think is going to absolutely abuse the Cardinals, so I like that for the Wampus Cats. And I have on here, can Derek Carr get it together? We're just going to slash right through that. That doesn't matter. But the fun thing is, and this part hasn't changed. The fun thing is because of this matchup and because of your all's teams, the Vegas Jacksonville game that we will be at, this is the most important game in this matchup. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see. I have to stick with my Wampus Cats pick. I messed up. I'll go over the game of the week. I'll go over after this. I'm going Wampus Cats here, but I have not said one of Detroit's picks yet because I am all flustered because of
that's right
madness that has went on in this episode. But I'll run down Detroit. My bad. All right, next up, our game of the week, which the Battle of the Mid would have been the game of the week if not for this incredible matchup we have. It is the 5-3 Renegades taking on the 5-3 Pharmacists. Take it away, Matt.
The 2-point spread, very close. But the trade's not showing up. And as I said earlier, I think the Pharmacists won that trade against the Wampus Cats, at least for this year. I don't know about going forward in the future. So just based on that trade, and it is close. The Renegades, I say it again, the Taylor Swift, neither one of them have done much so far this year. Until they start producing, it's hard to go with them. I'm going with the Pharmacists.
It's going to be close, but I'm going to go Renegades here. I think 2-and-on keeps it rolling, so I think they're going to get the win.
The good thing is if Jonathan Taylor is out for the Renegades, I do think Patterson will suit up. He's back at practice today, so I think that will be huge for the Renegades. We're monitoring Swift. I know he didn't practice today, and it looks like his playtime is a little bit on a restriction anyway. I know I think Dan Campbell came out and said that he regretted playing him as much as he did against Miami. And I don't know if Tannehill's back for the Pharmacists. And I think the defense leans Renegades. So I'm going Renegades here as well. All right. So running down Detroit's picks were all the same as mine, except I just got a little message in the inbox. Due to the recent events, he will be going with the Zen Masters over the Wampus Cats. So for a rundown of Detroit's picks, we have the Dobermans, the Kings, the Midnight Riders, the Evil Empire, the Zen Masters, and the Renegades. Woo. All right. Now we'll wrap up here our goodbyes. Real quick, we'll go over our locks and upsets. We had a bad week last week. Went 2 for 6. I hit my upset with the Commanders. Phil hit his lock, which was, as we all know, Phil's lock was Phil did not hit his lock. Phil hit his upset. Phil hit his upset. The Commanders over the Colts. I hit my lock, which was the Ravens over Tampa Bay. Sorry, everything else missed. Points on the season. Detroit's at 11. I'm at 11. Phil's at 8. Detroit, let's get his lock of the week. The Chiefs giving 12.5 to Tennessee. I think that tells me that it might not be Tannehill starting, that line being that ridiculous. And then against my better judgment, I tried to warn him, his upset is the Falcons over the Chargers. Guest host, Matthew Smith, take it away. Give us your lock and your upset.
Lock of the week, I have the Ravens at -2.5 against the Saints. The upset of the week is very hard this week because there's a lot of close matchups. There's a lot of teams on bye. So I'm not super confident about this, but if choose one, I'm taking the Panthers -7.5 against the Bengals, led by their amazing running back. I already forgot his name on my team. Dante
Foreman.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I said.
Amazing.
I wasn't super confident about it there.
Phil, tell the people how to get a hold of us and give us your picks.
Real quick, who did I put for my lock? Because I didn't write it down. I can't remember.
I love Phil more than life itself. I want you guys to know that. All right. I love this man. It feels
What's that?
like it's the Packers -4 over the
Packers.
Lions.
Okay. I said that? I don't even remember saying that. Okay.
Oh, shit,
Yeah,
I lost.
Packers -4. And then my upset, I just went crazy with this one. Jets getting 12.5 versus Buffalo. I'm just going to take the Jets.
Yes.
Winning out right
Love
here.
it.
As always, you can follow the show on Twitter at KDFL Podcast. You can follow Brett at BrettStill2. You can follow Detroit at Detroit8374. And you can follow me at Phil Ruxy. And be sure to go ahead and like this video and follow the channel. And Matt, thanks for coming on, filling in.
Look at this. Look at the harmony today. All right. My lock. I'm on a personal mission against this team now. And I was right last week when I bet on the Commanders. So we're going Pats -5.5 over the Colts. This franchise is in shambles. They committed the unforgivable sin of destroying my hero. And also, we're going to keep the game rolling. I am going to find the Vikings' next loss, and I do think it's this week. I think the Commanders beat them. My mistake last week was the Vikings were at home. They're on the road. Brand new news. Snyder's selling the team. The team's going to be jacked. Commanders over Vikings outright. So, for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for Captain Phil Ruxy, for special guest host Angry Matt Smith, this has been our most electric episode of the season of the KDFL Fantasy Podcast, and we will see you next week. I did it again. I said it twice right here on the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast.